find us on the web at mbradio.us.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.us.
Hey, let's go! Get in here! Let's go! Get in here right now! Get in here! Hey, we got 30 minutes for the rest of our lives! 30 minutes for the rest of our lives! That's our plan in the first half. It ain't happening. We get the ball. I promise you one thing. We're going to hit somebody and we're taking down the field for a touchdown. I guarantee you that. Guarantee. Look at me. Let's go. We got 30 minutes. Let's go. For the rest of our lives. For the rest of our lives. Let's go. Let's go. Lock on. Hey. Lock on. Lock on. Hey. Put your heart on the table. We got it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the Final Timeout with me, your host, HG. A weekend where champions were crowned. We had 3 separate teams win their respective sporting leagues over the weekend. The Carolina Hurricanes are your Stanley Cup champion. The New York Knicks are your NBA Finals champion, and the Louisville Kings are your UFL champions. We're going to go ahead and talk about all of those today, as well as the World Cup starting. We've got the MLB and WNBA going strong, and I'm still out here trying to go 82-0 on 82and0.com. We're going to give that another whirl today. We got an action-packed show, so hopefully you stick around and hang out with me. And, leave some comments. Let me know how you're feeling about the sporting world right now. Give us a call, send us a text, whatever, what have you. But we're going to start with the Carolina Hurricanes. And when we had just left off, they had finally kind of broken through in this series. First game that was decided by more than one goal. They got that 5-3 victory. Brandon Bussey was really good. Looked to be the starting goalie for the rest of the series going forward. And was he? And man, did he deliver. We're going to go back to the 11th. Excuse me. Back to the 11th. For game 5, series was at that point tied up 2-2. Carolina got the victory 4-2. And yeah, largely in part because the goaltending took a big jump up. I know Jordan Stahl won the Conn Smythe, but the MVP of this series, and the Conn Smythe is for the whole postseason, but the MVP of this series really was Bussey when he came in there. It was like the team just seemed way better with him in there. A lot less goals going in, obviously, but he just wasn't getting beat by nearly as much. He was just ready for the opportunity. Played a fantastic game, and game 5 only gave up 2 goals on 25 shot attempts, so it's a .92, 920 save percentage. Jordan Stahl picking up another goal in this series. Again, Conn Smythe winner was fantastic for them all series long. Nikolaj Ehlers, man, was the dealer in this game. The 3 assists from him in this one. Shechnikov getting 2 goals of his own. Yeah, they really just were in control of this game. Dorofeyev got the early goal first, but then after that, it was really all Hurricanes for a lot of that. They controlled the rest of the first, the rest of the entire second, and then most of the third. Dorofeyev got 1 more goal there late to kind of make it a little closer, but This is really where we started to see the dominant Carolina team that had been tearing through the regular season, just blew through the playoffs with only one loss. They really came out. This was definitely one of the more dominant runs out of a team, and this is where we started to see that emerge. The defense was a lot better too overall, and then they just were back into their game of fast on defense, just really smothering, suffocating, and getting really good opportunities and moving the puck around and getting good shot opportunities here. Made a lot of their power plays, 2 power play goals in 5 attempts. Vegas really struggled to stay out of the penalty in this one. And they were, the giveaways were still somewhat of a problem for them. What was a bit of an issue for Freddie Anderson was he was just getting killed on those fast break opportunities off of the giveaways. Bussy did a lot better taking away or stand strong against those fast break opportunities. Shut down a lot more of that. So that was really just the one thing that still these past 2 games you could still maybe put a blemish on Carolina was their giveaways in this one, but much rather taking the puck away or staying out of the penalty for the most part. Getting a lot of shot attempts. They were really in control and won a lot of face-offs as well. So this is where it started. This is where they kind of took control of this series. It had been so back and forth. And for Vegas, maybe a team that ran out of gas. Carter Hart it was a rough series for him, but I understand the difficult situation you're in where you don't really have anyone else to fall back on if you're Vegas. Gave up 4 goals on 24 attempts. The defense for Vegas, which has been really good, especially in the clutch and in the late game situations, was still there, I would say. I mean, they've always been they've been kind of slow and they could give up goals early, but like only 1 in the 3rd period. But that's usually the offense turns it up to match, and it just wasn't there. It wasn't matching with them this evening. And then we get to Game 6, back in Vegas on their home ice, desperately trying to keep this series alive and extend it. But they ran into a very hungry version of these Carolina Hurricanes, a team that was ready to close this out and go home. A fantastic game out of the Bussy, 22 shot attempts, 22 saves. He was just absolutely locked down. I mean, they got some really good looks. One where he kind of got lucky, Eichel. I'd say there's probably only one that he got lucky on, but that was Eichel with basically a 2-on-1 with Bussy being the one just trying to figure out who was going to take the shot, was all out of position, and Eichel missed it off the crossbar. Definitely going to haunt them. You don't know, how that could have flipped the momentum of this game had it gone in. I know Hart had been having a tough series. I think he was pretty good in this game. Only gave up 2 goals, the last one coming on an empty net. But the offense for Vegas just at this point had disappeared, really teetered off. They got some good looks. They weren't able to convert those. Really unlucky with some. But I think the big one really, the Eichel miss, I keep going back to that because maybe if he had gotten that, could that have put some life into this team? got to give a credit to all the defensemen and Bussy in general, just their defense in this game, out of this world. All the blocked shots. It really, you could see it just get more and more demoralizing for Vegas. And they started believing, I think they started believing in themselves less and less, as they just could not get anything to go down. They were struggling with just any good opportunity was getting just wiped out and smothered. They were getting hit a lot in this one. Pretty even on your face-off opportunities. Nobody even on your power play opportunities, but nobody was able to convert there. But this one, the giveaways just started to catch up to them, and Carolina was being really aggressive and taking the puck away and cutting off any opportunities, and they're for Vegas in the offensive zone and ending it really early. It was Carolina finally was played like the dominant team that they had been. I think these two games were not really an indicator of how close this series was. If you had just seen these two games, you'd have thought that Carolina had been dominating all series. I don't know if it's cliche, but it does feel like Vegas sort of ran out of gas or just didn't have the energy, the toughness, whatever you might have it, to finish the series out. And ultimately, that's why they're not hoisting the Stanley Cup. They're not going to go back to John Tortorella, who took over for them after they fired their coach. Still pretty incredible how far this team did end up going with all the ups and downs of this season. Gotta feel, I know for a lot of these guys, veteran players that were hoping to either get their first cup or to win another one, this isn't how you would want this series or your season to end. But I think you give them a few weeks, and at least in retrospect, you can feel good about everything that you did do to end up getting to this point. So that's a wrap on the hockey season. It was a good one. We saw a lot of action. We had a fantastic Olympics break for some great Olympic hockey. And then we came back. We had a fantastic playoffs, so many close games, some fun young teams that went on some surprisingly deep runs. You know, a lot of really competitive and close series, while we also still saw a good amount of dominant playoff hockey. I'll toot the ass horns until they got to Vegas, and then Carolina only losing 3 games all postseason. Definitely going to go down as probably one of the more dominant runs in Stanley Cup history. I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure what all the teams' cap situations and upcoming free agents are going to look like. If Carolina can keep a lot of this roster together, good shot that they are, again, one of the best teams that we're going to be looking at next year. I got to say, for Vegas, yeah, you probably exceeded expectations this year, but what really hurts about falling short in this Stanley Cup final is now, are you going to be able to get back? Because there's a lot of question marks up in the air for this team. Are they going to be able to get back to this point? I don't know. Who's going to still be around? What shifts are we going to see and that front office. There's a lot of questions there. I'm going to go ahead and give a way too early power rankings for next year. We're going to put the defending champs as number 1. We're going to throw, I mean, just because it'll be the regular season, we'll say the Avalanche will probably look really good in the regular season. They'll find probably another way, like they always do, to embarrassingly go out in the playoffs. I mean, hoping that doesn't happen, but it is a bit too much of a a theme with that team. Then I will say we've got the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'll put up there. Then the Dallas Stars and the Wild at 5. 6 team. Give me Buffalo, the Sabres, and then Anaheim. Anaheim Ducks could be a good team. They showed a lot of promise in this postseason. The Mammoth as well could be right back there. Then we'll round out the I think that's what, 8. Round out the top 10 with, say, Edmonton and the Penguins. We'll go Edmonton, Vegas, then the Penguins. Some older veteran teams that might still have some fight in them. That's going to be a way too early power rankings. Yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this Stanley Cup playoff. It was fantastic. Usually doesn't disappoint. Where do you rank this Hurricanes team all time in terms of Cup champions? Definitely, safe to say, I think this was a more dominant run. It wasn't like a team that got hot at the right time or anything. All year they were really good, really consistent. Dominated their way through the playoffs. Only 3 losses was very good. 53, 22, and 7 on the year. Scored 113 points, plus 56 goal differential. Only gave up, 240 goals on the year, which is really good. Looking at some of the Avs stats just makes me even more mad about how bad they choked in the postseason, but we'll blow past that. Yeah. Dominant run from Carolina. That they could be back, but what we saw this year, ton of parity. We had a lot of new teams in the playoffs this year, and who's going to be the teams that missed last year that make it back this year, or that make it next year. Team that was right there on the edge, actually, the Predators, I could see potentially making that jump, getting back in there. Winnipeg was really good a few years ago, and we could see them coming back. Maybe Chicago ever gets everything that they got going on there figured out. You've got the Maple Leafs and the Panthers had a pretty big drop off this year in terms of success. Could they return? Questions that we will have to wait for till next season. I think it was a fantastic close, a fantastic series to close off another great year of hockey. One of the better seasons that I've been a part of, at least. And you're 20, 25, 26 Stanley Cup champions, Carolina Hurricanes. Congratulations to them and all the guys in Carolina. That's going to do it for my coverage of the Stanley Cup. Reflections on the season and everything. Let me know what your favorite parts were. I'm going to go ahead and send us on our first music break of the show. When we come back, we're going to dive into the NBA Finals. Everything that we got there. Jalen Brunson's performance. What's up to the Spurs? We got all that coming up here on the Final Timeout. Military broadcast.
muerto.
Dead man. 10 years hard time for something I didn't do. You've been living on easy street. Now dust is coming to you. You're a dead man. You're a dead man walking. 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 Justice coming. Justice coming for you. You can try to hide from your fate. Run as fast as you can. Don't wait, don't hesitate. You see, you're just a dead man. Oh, dead man walking. You cannot run. You know you just can't hide. Run for hell, I'll hunt you down. Nowhere for you to reside. No, you're a dead man. You're just a dead man walking. Oh, hey. Dead man walking. 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 Death is coming. Death is coming for you. Hey. You're a dead man. Dead man walking. Dead man walking. Dead man walking. Dead man walking.
You've got this. Even if today feels tough, your best chapter is just around the pond.
Whenever things get rough or it feels like you're at the edge, remember this: storms pass.
Tough times don't last, but tough people do.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. You're giving veterans a voice today. Powered by WorkSimple, where we simplify your mission.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.us.
Welcome back to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, HG. You're watching the Final Timeout here on Military Broadcast Radio. Left off talking about the Stanley Cup and what an incredible series that was. Another incredible series, even though it was wrapped up in 5. The NBA Finals. And we got to start back on Wednesday. That morning, I was talking about an exciting Game 4 coming up, and boy, did it not disappoint. Wednesday night, the Knicks pulled off the largest comeback in NBA Finals history. They were down by 29 points at one point, stormed all the way back to win that game 107-106. And I mean, effectively, my opinion, win the series. That game all but killed any hope I think that San Antonio had of winning that series, and a chance to even it up 2-2, and instead you blow a huge lead and go down 3-1. Tough to come back from in that series. A lot to dive into, including just a perplexing performance by the Spurs in the second half. I mean, they only scored 14 points in the third quarter, only 16 in the fourth. It was abysmal. It's pretty bad. I mean, their combined second half point totals didn't even equal what they had in either the first or second quarter alone. Talk about some individual performances. But first, on the Spurs side, they honestly looked like they were had some good players, some good performances until late. I mean, Wemby with 24 and 13, he had the 3 block shots. De'Aaron Fox 18, 5 and 7. Devin Vassell 18, 5 and 4. Champagne didn't score a lot. He was really bad shooting, but he had 4 steals, 5 rebounds. The bench unit was besides Dylan Harper again, who was it was just fantastic. We'll talk about Dylan Harper more in a second, but 21, 4 and 3 from him in this game. Yeah, just phenomenal. Ton of steals for the Spurs in this one too. They had 10 steals. Really good. The Knicks had 13 turnovers total in this game, so most of those were coming off of steals. But the second half was terrible. Just lack of ball movements, more turnovers from them in general. A lot of possessions were just stagnant. Bring it up, settle for a bad 3, miss it. Some dumb turnovers like dribbling the ball off of your foot, not being on the same page, passing it out of bounds, things like that. Really killed them in the second half. Then on the Knicks side, man, a team that just they started out really bad. I mean, they were on the game. They ended up really getting it together in the second half, but they missed a lot of threes early. They were, even when they got to the line, they just weren't making a lot of their opportunities, but ended up going 20-28 on the game. Yeah, they just were early. Early on, they were disorganized, a little out of sorts. But late in that game and that second half, I mean, the team that they did not give up. They just kept fighting, kept chipping away, and eventually came all the way back to win it. Jalen Brunson with a fantastic performance in this one. 36 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. But OG Anunoby, I think, was overall the hero of this game. Whether it was all the missed shots he forced on defense, but he still scored 33 points himself. He hit 7 threes, was a perfect 6 for 6 at the line. 1 steal, 1 block shot, 4 rebounds as well. His impact cannot be overstated. Josh Hart in there doing a lot of dirty work, got 2 steals, 6 assists for him, 8 rebounds despite the quiet scoring night. Cat with a quiet but very respectable 13 and 10 in this game. Honestly, this was one of the worst performances from the Knicks bench. They didn't get a ton out of these guys. Like Alvarado gave you 8 points. Robinson wasn't that big on the boards. He only had 5, but he did have 2 blocked shots, which did end up being pretty important. They also had to go to Ari Hurkaporti because Kat was getting into foul trouble in this one. But that was a big reason why this comeback was able to get sparked as well. As he stayed out of foul trouble and was able to stay out there on the court in the second half. So how did the Spurs blow this lead? Well, like I said, dumb turnovers, stagnant offense. The ball movement ball wasn't moving as much. They were really playing it very conservative. And again, like you have, I don't know if it's just the nerves or what, but you're just rushing these shots in the shot clock. A big series where, they, almost turn it over. They get lucky, it goes off of a Knicks player. They inbound it and then immediately take a bad 3. And it's like you even get like second chances to go and score again, and you don't take advantage of it. You're starting to get out rebounded really badly there in the second half too. I mean, couldn't get a no board to save their life. It felt like, despite winning the overall rebound battle, there was, night and day difference between that and the first half and the second half. And then De'Aaron Fox, he's the one that's getting a lot of flack, and I mean he was pretty bad in this game and in the series overall. First of all, when they got that, I don't know why he decided to take that shot when they were up 106 to 105. You get the ball back, dribble out the clock, dribble it out, make them foul you. When, I get that it looks like you have a chance to score, but you just got to have better situational awareness and better awareness of who's around you, because New York's best defender is there was there for the chase down block. OG Anunoby, that was his only block of the game, and I mean it was absolutely crucial in that game to get that stop. And then fouling on what could have potentially been a backcourt by Alvarado. I know his feet crossed, but the ball didn't technically. So I think that wouldn't have been a backcourt regardless. But also, you have the lead. You don't need to foul there. I mean, you essentially for free stopped the clock for the Knicks. Let them draw up an inbound play. It wasn't even the best one. So then you just blow because you decide to not seal off that lane for OG Anunoby. You just completely leave your man, the inbounder, and try to go double team while you've got a 7-4 defensive player of the year there guarding him, and just leave a wide open lane for OG Anunoby to drive back in and get that game winning tip. So he did sell pretty hard. I got Mitch Johnson's coaching in the second half really bad as well. I'm not quite sure what he was doing. He just let his team go on these cold streaks for far too long. And this whole series just wants to go with De'Aaron Fox in the clutch. Despite Dylan Harper being the better, more consistent player and just showing more composure late. I mean, Harper is a rookie and he's got the composure and the poise of 8-year vet in this league. He does not, the moment doesn't feel too big for him. He didn't seem like he was overwhelmed by the moment at all. I mean, he was routinely one of the most efficient shooters for the Spurs in every game, was making veteran decisions, cooling down the nerves in that OKC series. He was wasn't didn't have those turnovers, a turnover problem like Castle was having. And yeah, you look at this game, like, yeah, Fox had 18 points, but he was on 6 of 16 shooting for 4-9 from 3, which isn't horrible. But then you look at Dylan Harper, who in that game in 5 less minutes goes, 21, 4, and 3 with 8 of 12 from the field, 50% from 3. Both got to the lineup for 2 attempts. So I don't know. To me, it seems pretty clear that you would go with him. So this is to take anything away from the Knicks. I mean, this was an incredible effort from them. I mean, the fact that they never quit. They showed just unbelievable hustle on every play. Like, they had great situational awareness, and I mean, you got guys like Brunson and OG just really stepped up in the scoring game there. It's a heroic performance from both of them. Like, it's a team with no quit. Not to take anything away from them, because that was an incredible effort by them to lead this comeback. But for a comeback like this, like, the other team's got to do you some favors, and the Spurs did far too many favors, I think. This game was really, you could watch this entire game and basically know it would sum up the entire series for you. It was the Spurs leading and being the better team for most of the series, but when it mattered late, the Knicks were the better, more composed and poised team. And then you have game 5, the clincher, on the road in San Antonio. And holy crap, was this a legacy performance by Jalen Brunson? 45 of his team's 94 points that he scored. The guy was just locked in, ready to seal this thing out. I mean, he had, Cat fouled out with only 2 points, going 1 of 7 from the field. I'll say he did have 10 rebounds and 3 steals, so it wasn't like he was entirely worthless. Also blocked a shot, but I mean, to lose your second best player or third best player, I would say OG at points in the series was the best player for the Knicks and was at least the second best player behind Brunson for a lot of this series. But to lose like a crucial big man, especially when you've got the other team's best player is a 7'4" basketball demigod. It's tough to lose your starting center. But didn't deter Brunson, a legacy defining 45 points. Just the aggression, the look at the score, forcing, he got to the line a lot, 15 attempts in this one. Like, he's just so crafty getting to his spot. Always was just aggressive, looking the score in this one. Forced the Spurs' hand. And on the Spurs side, you look at everyone and you see two pretty big outliers. Two guys that really dropped the ball. I give Castle is, a 23-year-old that hasn't been, this is his first postseason. Closeout game in the NBA Finals. Could be expected from a young player like that. 1 of 10 from the field, only 6 points in this game. But De'Aaron Fox, man, again, you look at, he's 3 of 15, 1 of 8 from 3, only 7 points, and it's just like, why late is he in the game when Dylan Harper has 25? 10 of 19 from the field, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, even blocked a shot. That calls into some questions about Mitch Johnson's decisions here, because that's the biggest thing for me in this whole series is like, why Dylan Harper? isn't the guy you're going with in these situations and trusting here. It was, I don't know. It's blowing my mind why they wouldn't go with Harper. Kid's going to be fantastic. I mean, he was absolutely, without a doubt, for like pretty much all this series and a lot of the playoffs too, the Spurs' second best player. In this game, he was their best player. I mean, Wemby was solid, 19 points, 14 boards, had 5 block shots. Was 1 of 6 from 3, took more of those than I'd have liked to see out of him. But yeah. Again, and this was a game where the Spurs got up. They had the lead. They were in control for a good point of it. But then a fourth quarter disparity, man, 29-18. Only 18 points in the fourth quarter. And we get in an elimination game for you. Josh Hart, man. Again, I love shouting out Josh Hart because he just does so much dirty work for this team, man. 13-11 in this one, like just does what's ever asked for him and what's ever needed of him on a nightly basis. Mikal Bridges was also pretty solid in this one. He had 14 points. He didn't get a lot of scoring from the bench. Brunson, like I said, did carry this team on his back with a lot of the scoring, but some of these role guys in their defense in this one, I mentioned 3 steals for Towns. OG had 3 steals, picked up the rebounding a little bit too. When Cat wasn't out there, he had 8 boards. Hart was doing that too with the 11. Mitchell Robinson did a great job. I mean, like it was a great overall performance from a lot of these guys. And what's fun about this Knicks team, I mean, Jalen Brunson was like this guy nobody considered to be a number 1 option. Teams didn't want him. Josh Hart was just an average role player that wasn't people didn't consider him that skilled of a player scoring, or he was just a kind of a good rebounding guard and what have you. Teams didn't really see him as a guy that could be a glue piece in the championship team. OG Anunoby was an NBA champion, but Toronto didn't see him as like a future building block for a team, like if they wanted to go back. And he was seen as the disposable, a trade asset to help a rebuild. Karl Anthony Towns was, wasn't good enough defensively, couldn't, and was too emotional to play winning basketball. Mikal Bridges, was all just a 3-and-D guy that wasn't gonna. That teams were just passing around for as a trade asset. Like it was a team that really just had a lot of guys that were rejects from a lot of other teams that they all came together. Even Mike Brown, man, got fired for not being kind of publicly calling out here in Fox when he was in Sacramento, and for not being able to get that team back into the postseason. So like a team that just the rest of the league kind of treated as rejects and unwanted. And all of a sudden they come together, they buy into this culture, and they bring the first championship back to New York City in 53 years. Special run, man. It was a fun season to watch. Great, a really good season of basketball as well. We had some really fantastic series. I thought this was a great series as well. We'll see how the second apron and everything hits these teams. I'll do what I did for the NHL. I will give my way too early top 10 power rankings for next season. This situation, I'm actually going to put the runner-ups as second. I know this was really bad, but they're a very young team. They've got a lot of like rookie contracts and deals still. the one big thing hanging over them is De'Aaron Fox, but I think besides that, I like it. They led for 72% of this series. You could tell like we're the better team. They just were the inexperience and the youth just was what ultimately did them in. So I will put the Spurs as my number one team, but I'm going to give the champs the respect. I'll put them at number two. As much as I hate to say it, I'm going to put the Thunder at 3. Give me the Celtics as number 4. Detroit Pistons, I'm going to put them at 5. I don't know what my Nuggets are going to do. They're probably not going to be in here. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Timberwolves at 5. We're going to go and put Toronto at 6. I think Toronto is going to be a dangerous unit. Right now, I'm putting Miami at 7 because I think that's right now where I think Giannis is most likely to go to. So for that very speculatory reason, Miami's going at 7. I think the Pacers, Halliburton being healthy, give me them at 8. I think he's coming back there. The East is kind of making a comeback. I'm going to put the Lakers at 9 and maybe call me crazy. Give me the Mavericks at 10. I think that team, Kyrie Irving being healthy, Cooper Flagg entering year 2. They have another high draft pick. That's a team that could be dangerous. Most definitely. And you know what, guys? We're also going to go ahead because next week or next Tuesday, we have the NBA draft coming up here. We're going to see that. I'm going to go ahead and do a mock draft simulator. We're going to go ahead and do that before we hit our next break. That's our last thing that we got coming up here. Now, obviously, I've been following the college season really well. We're going to just do round 1, I think. Round 2's. Yeah, round 2 is just the Wild West. All right. So, my humble opinion, I think DeBonsa should go number 1. I think he would fit really well in with what the Wizards are building there. You've got a guard in Trae Young. Keontae George is there as well in your front court. He could slide in really well as just a small forward alongside Anthony Davis, Alex Sarr. I know Darren Peterson has only met with the Wizards, though. So it kind of makes me think they might be going with him. Maybe he knows something we don't, or that there's been that decision being made. So I would keep that in mind. I think DeBonsa should go number 1 overall, but Peterson has only met with the Wizards. He's refused to meet with any other team. So maybe he knows that they're taking him, or this could be a, Ace Bailey situation where he's like, I'm just trying to not go to the team I don't want to draft me. And then he still ends up going to the Jazz, ironically, who would be. But I'm going to go ahead and put Peterson as 1. DeBonsa is going to obviously go at 2. And then I think Cam Boozer, phenomenal fit for the Grizzlies. They need a lot of size in the front court, especially after losing Jaren Jackson Jr. Boozer alongside Zach Edey there in that front court, just rebounding, post scoring, all there. And then Chicago does need a center, but I think right now you also do need some more size in your front court as well. I think their front court's lacking. They've got a lot of guards. They're good on guards. I think you go ahead and take Caleb Wilson here. And the Clippers, definitely, I think, guard play. You need a solid handler here. Kingston Fleming's going to be up there. You've got Acuff Jr., Mikael Brown, I really like as well. If I had to guess of the three of those guys going, because I think a point guard's the big thing here. You've got Benedict Mathurin. You've got Darius Garland. A couple of guys that could take the guard play for you. Ultimately, though, I think I'm going to go with Acuff. I think Acuff is, to me, he's just got so much Allen Iverson in him, while also still being a really, I think he'll be a pro-ready type of playmaker and facilitator as well. Next, the Nets here. Probably looking for some forward shooting, some guard upsize. Honestly, though, they have a lot of guards. So in this situation, I kind of see them taking maybe Nate Amon. Although I'm going to go ahead and have them take Keaton Wagler because Wagler's got the depth. While he's listed as a shooting guard, he's really big for a shooting guard. I think he's going to be versatile. You can have him play as a wing. Fantastic scorer. He's just got a lot of like great size and athletic tools that he's kind of a plug and play by like where you need position type of guy. He can be a big shooting guard. He can play small forward. You can maybe even get away with him being power forward in some lineups. So that's what I got there. For the Kings, says, like some wing scoring, forward savvy type of stuff. I actually have them going with Mikael Brown Jr. here. Athletic point guard from Louisville, really overall well-rounded player. I think he's just like a guy that can get in there and he can score, he can facilitate, and he could probably, learn a good amount from playing under Russell Westbrook. All right. For the Hawks, I really do think that they need a center, but at this point, I don't know if they want to pass. They could use some point guard play. McCollum getting pretty old. I don't know if they would want to pass on what we got up here. However, I think call me a little crazy. I think Nate Amon could be a good fit there for them. I think they go Nate Amon here. And then I think Kingston Fleming falls here to Dallas. I don't hate that. I mean, he's going to give them some much needed perimeter defense, as well as, an elite scoring ability. Played at Houston, so good defender, really good at just getting to the rack. He's got a solid 3-ball, so I think he'll fit nicely into there. For the Milwaukee Bucks, they need a point guard, definitely. Maybe some wing upside. They're probably trading Giannis. We'll see, is a subject to change. For me, I think LeBaron Philon, best fit for them is who they end up going and taking there. Then you've got the Warriors, center, a forward. I like Yaxel. I could see Yaxel going to them. I think Hayden Steinbach gives them a little more defensively as a defender. I think that he's a guy that can, play as a power forward, but he can also, I think, is more versatile. Could be a center for you as well. So that's why I'm going Steinbach to Washington. We're going to go ahead and I think Yaxel then ends up getting swooped up by the Thunder. That situation. You've got out of Miami Heat. Could see them potentially going Braden Burries here. Maybe to be honest, I don't know a ton about Kareem Lopez. He's definitely up here, though. Probably a better fit for what Miami's looking for. So I would say they probably take him here. And then Burries ends up going to Charlotte. Really good defender, Burries is. I mean, that'll be huge. You can give them some much needed defense, especially in their backcourt. And then the Bulls, who are looking for a center, I think this is a perfect spot for them to draft Adai Mora, just a beast, huge out of whatchamacallit, out of Michigan, 7'2", guys, and just an absolute beast. And then for the Grizzlies here, I'm looking more at like Cameron Carr, maybe Bennett Sturts here. Some shooting upside from both of those guys. Bennett to me is a little bit more pro ready. Might be less of a project, so I will have Bennett going to them here. And then the Thunder definitely looking for maybe a backup point guard, something like that. So Christian Anderson makes a lot of sense to me. And then you get back to the Hornets. Definitely need some help in the center department. Chris Sinak, fantastic defender, absolute motor or rebounder would be a good fit there for them. Give them some much needed defense there as well. All right. Now you've got the Raptors. Again, another team I think could use a center. He's maybe a little undersized, but I think Moraz Johnson, very just overall well-rounded player from Michigan, has a 3-ball, great rebounder, really strong defender as well. All right. Then the Spurs, they're going to be looking for probably some more shooting. However, though, I'm looking at Koa Pete, kind of nasty to be, could be backing up Champagny. Just again, a physical presence. Wemby's still a little skinny. I think Pete, while he's on the shorter side, is certainly not as tall. I mean, he's as Wemby, no one really is, but he's really like more of a power forward than a small forward. Like I think he could be great for the Spurs defensively. All right, the Thunder, I really think they need some guard playmaking. Maybe a bit of a reach from here, but Abuka Okori, guard out of Stanford. Just need somebody else that can make some playmaking outside the Cade. Then I think the 76ers, we're staring at them right here, Quintats. They just need some more size. Go alongside Joel Embiid. You got the Hawks. We had them taking Nate Amon. I apologize. I forgot. I'm not screen sharing this with y'all. Bam. Here we go. The mock draft that we've been doing. Let everybody take a look here. Now we see we had the Hawks taking Nate Amon earlier. Now some front court help. Potentially Cameron Carr could drop to them. I'm a little tempted to have him go with Braden Smith, but I'm going to end up going with Carr, I think, instead. Then you've got the Knicks. Honestly, Allen Graves kind of feels like a perfect fit for them here. A really well-rounded big. He's got some playmaking ability. Go with him here. Then you've got the Lakers. Really need a center. I would probably pop in. I think for them, they're taking Henry Facir here, the best center available still on the board. Nuggets, we could use some guard defense. I mean, we really just need defense in general. I like Joshua Jefferson, best player on Iowa State. They have a phenomenal defensive unit there. Then I'm going to go, I think Isaiah Evans ends up on the Celtics. Maybe Dylan Swain, but I think Evans is probably the Duke pedigree gets him the nod there. And then here's where I think we actually get Braden Smith. You've got Minnesota could use some more playmaking. Bring him in there. So playmaking off the bench for them. Cleveland. Dylan Swain seems like a good fit for me there. They could just, he's versatile for them. I also don't hate Malik Thomas for them. But I'm going to go with Swain. And again, could see Malik Thomas potentially going to the Mavericks, but they did take a guard already. I don't honestly hate, oh my goodness, Alex Caravan for him here. That could make some sense to me. So boom, this is our mock draft for round 1 of the NBA draft, which is going to be next Tuesday, the 23rd. Take a look at what every team took. So Atlanta, I'm going with Amen Cameron Carr. The Nets end up going with Keaton Wagler. Celtics taking Isaiah Evans. You have actually, we'll just go to the full results here. So, yep. Peterson, DeBonsa, Boozer, Caleb Wilson, Acuff, Keaton Wagler, Mikal Brown, Nate Amen, Kingston Fleming, Philon, Steinbuck, Lundenberg, Lopez, Burries, Mara, Sturts. It's going to be a strong year for the college players, man. It's a really good class. This is a good draft. There's still a number of gems that could be found, I think, or just at least really high end or high floor upside players as well. So we're going to close that down and wrap up our NBA coverage. It's a good season. Drafts next week. I'll have a recap for you on that next show. We're going to go ahead and hit our final, or another music break, not our final one, but music break. Talk about the UFL Championship World Cup action as that's getting underway. Still got the game to another challenge. So that's when you're watching.
On the front lines we stand side by side, with courage and strength that we won't let slide. Through the chaos, our hearts beat as one. Each brother's a soldier, into battle we run. When the shots ring out, we won't back down. In the silence of loss, we'll wear our crown. We are soldiers, brothers in arms. Through fire and fury, we weather the storms. In unity, forged through the blood that we shed. Together we stand, living for the dead. Each step we take through the mud and the pain, memories linger like the echoes of rain. We fight for the fallen, our spirit won't break. In honor we carry their names in our wake. Though the cost is high, our bonds grow tight. In the darkest of hours we'll shine our light. soldiers, brothers in arms. Through fire and fury, we weather the storms. In unity, forged through the blood that we've shed. Together we stand, living for the day. With every heartbeat, we carry their name. In the brotherhood force, we'll never be the same.
Penalty on YOU. Delay of game. 5 seconds before the show. But hey, thanks for watching.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Final Timeout here on Military Broadcast Radio. Out by Work Simple. Left it off talking about a fantastic NBA Finals. It's crazy that it's over. We're sort of pretty soon we're going to fall into a little bit of a lull where we don't have championship sports, but there'll be some still good regular season action from the MLB and the NBA. We had another sporting league come to an end. The UFL wrapped up its third and inaugural season, and the new champion was crowned. The Louisville Kings go ahead and get the victory. An impressive second half comeback, a team that was looking pretty lifeless, having a lot of struggles, especially offensively in that first half. Didn't yield, didn't buckle, came back and got the victory. And this was technically in a hostile environment for them. DC, the host stadium for the United Bowl this year. And look, shout out to the people of DC, man. They show up for the Defenders. It was a hostile crowd in the championship game. It was a great scene. Hot day in the nation's capital. First, the Defenders, they start off just a good drive, get a 3-0 lead. But mayhem soon followed after that. Xavier Valladay broke loose on a 54-yard run. Looked like he was destined for the end zone, but Keen Ellis tracked him down, punched the ball free, and went out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Erased at least 6 points. Championship save and play there. Louisville had a scoop and score. Corey Mayfield Jr. With a crushing hit on, I believe it was Ty Scott. Eric Garor there, opportunistic, picked it up, ran it back for a touchdown. Ended up giving the Kings their first lead. They were up 7-3. But Valladay got his redemption. 51-yard touchdown run for him. That's 10-7. And then DC added another field goal. So, I mean, really the scoop and score was the only thing that the Kings had going for them in that first half. But then it was like a complete reversal, and all of a sudden it was all Louisville in the second half. I got to say, DC's QB, Jason Bean, does get hurt, goes down in this one, and they got to go to their third string guy because, remember, no Jordan Teamu, season-ending injury back in week 8. And now you're down to your third string guy, EJ Perry, who he still played pretty good overall. But it was a 16-7 game at halftime. under 100 total yards of offense. Kings were struggling to get anything going, even at the start of the third quarter. Had to get the special team player of the year, Tanner Brown, finally delivered the spark for them. Now, he had a 57-yard field goal. Kind of gave him the spark. And then the Jason Bean injury happened. Ruled him out for the remainder of the game. And that's where the momentum really flipped. And DC's offense struggled a lot in that second half. You know, Rodgers, who hadn't been playing super great all day, finally got like a big play down to, I believe it was Tariq Black. Another field goal, bring it within 3. An opening play of the fourth quarter is Ian Wheeler. House call. Now you've got your first lead of the game, or first lead of the second half. Perry gets intercepted, and then James Robinson, like 2 plays later, powers it into the end zone, gets a touchdown. It's 27-16. Only really form of offense that came for DC in the second half was a 62-yard field goal, 63-yard field goal, something like that, from Matt McCrane. 60-yard field goal. But that was a 4-point field goal. Made it a touchdown game. They had a good drive going late. A chance, under 2 minutes to score, tie this thing up. Came down to a 4th and goal at the 6-yard line. Excellent defensive pressure drawn up. Didn't get the sack, but did just enough to speed up EJ Perry. And they ran a mesh concept. I mean, it worked to perfection. You had, I forget the name of the receiver. I believe it was Cornell Powell. Running wide open. You get that ball to him and he waltzes into the end zone off of that drag route. But the pressure did just enough to affect Perry. Threw it high and behind Powell, falls incomplete. And the Kings were able to run out the clock and get crowned UFL champs. It was a game. Both teams just got all their offense on the ground. I'm going to just read out these rushing stats because they're insane. So for the Kings, who won the game, 34 carries, 180 yards on the ground, and 2 touchdowns. And then for the defenders, 35 carries for 262 yards on the ground, and only 1 touchdown. Could have had another one, but again, that strip, or that forced fumble there by Ellis just saved the day. Probably a big reason why Louisville ends up winning this one. You take away, or you add that 6, probably 7 points, completely different ball game late in this one. So really that was the hero play there, wiping away that touchdown off of a big run. That concludes the UFL season. Gotta say, it was another good one. I really like what they've done to add some more offense, some more excitement to this league. I got hope for it that they can expand it. Spring football is fun. It's good. We've had some really nice competitive matchups, and I think this is going to just work to even help develop it as a supplemental league for the NFL, almost like their G League, just like a way for some guys that maybe weren't pro ready to get experience and get some more reps and playing time, guys that are coming back from injury to really see if they're ready. You end up having great games like this. This was a fantastic championship matchup. Tale of 2 halves. Defenders still had a shot there, man. It could have been an incredible story if the third string quarterback ended up leading the game-winning drive, but ended up coming down to just one one play call and a go to goal situation, and one team just had the better play drawn up, got just enough pressure to basically win the game. So fantastic stuff there from the UFL. Can't wait to see what they got next season. My Broncos, actually, a little news about them, ended up signing on a UFL player. That would be Hakeem Butler of the Battlehawks, 2-time UFL Offensive Player of the Year. So we got another big-bodied wide receiver. We got the speed over the middle guys and Jalen Waddle and Marvin Mims. Now we've got, Cortland Sutton, Hakeem Butler, a couple of possession type guys there. Excited for my Broncos next year. And as a Battlehawks fan, excited to see Hakeem Butler get a shot in the UFL, especially on a team or in the NFL, and especially on a team that I'm a big fan of. So that's very hype, very exciting to see. Yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the UFL season. Ian Wheeler, United Bull MVP. I don't think they've announced all the end of the season awards just yet. I would imagine Jack Plummer is probably MVP. You might see, what was the name of the Chris Redmond, the Louisville King, probably coach of the year. I would say just the turnaround that he got. This team looked so bad after the first 3 weeks. Didn't look like they were going to be in contention, and here they are hoisting the trophy. So that's why you never quit, you never give up, and you just keep grinding, keep chipping away. Saw work for the Knicks in the NBA Finals. Saw it work for the Hurricanes in the very competitive and crazy first 3 games of the Stanley Cup. And it ended up coming in huge here for the Kings just this season in general in the UFL. Got them the championship, knocking off the defending champs in their own home stadium. Not easy to do. All right, shifting gears a little bit, and forewarning, I'm a little outside my wheelhouse here. We're talking World Cup. I do not know a whole lot about soccer, but it is one of the biggest tournaments on the planet. Wanted to give a shout out, and this is one of the better American teams we've had here. From what I have been learning about this is we've got some of our better strikers that we've ever had. Goaltending's a little suspect, but we run the offense, or the scheme we run, I think it's like a 4-4-2. So we're trying to attack, trying to keep the put pressure on the other team's defense, keep the ball on their side and go for scoring. And so it worked out pretty well for us in our first group game, 4-1 victory over Paraguay. I'll go through some of the stats here. I can't promise that I can tell you what they all mean, but we were at 1.42 expected goals. That seems like it's probably good. 3 big chances created, 2 big chances missed. 6 shots on goal, 4 of those going in. 509 accurate passes. That was way more than Paraguay had. Beat them in duels 1. And our goalie did have 1 save in this one. So if you're like me, the guys that you're looking for, or the stars, like Christian Pulisic is one of them. The other guy, where is he? Florian Balogun, I think is how you pronounce that. He had 2 goals in this one. One of our better players. He's good because he's playing in the European League somewhere. So that's how you know he's really good. Same thing with Pulisic. So, yeah, this will be a fun, competitive team. We'll see. That 4-1 victory is huge to get that in your group stage game. The way the group stage works, draws are worth 1 point. You've got wins are worth 3, and then if you lose, they're not worth any. And then obviously scoring 4 goals if there's like a tie in the group stage, it's the first thing they look at is head-to-head matchup and then goal differential as well. So it all helps. Day 1 opened up with the Mexican team getting a 2. I'll use the correct term. They got a 2-0 victory over over South Africa, and then South Korea beat Chesnia 2-1. You've got on Friday, on top of America's victory, a good Bosnia Herzegovina forcing a draw with Canada. One of these scrappy underdog teams here. They actually they kept Italy out of the World Cup by beating them in the qualifier tournament, or like in their qualifying game, which was huge. I remember that shook up the soccer world a lot. Saturday, I was very busy dealing with this at my job. Fox has been carrying the World Cup. We had a couple of draws. Qatar drawing with Switzerland, which a bit of a stunner for them. Qatar, big underdog in this one. I don't remember what group, but this was one of the more highly anticipated group matchups between Brazil and Morocco, 2 really good teams. 1-1 draw there. We'll get past the need for draws here soon in the Cup. Then you had Scotland beating Haiti 1-0. Big for Scotland. Their first time being back in the Cup for a while. 36 years since their last World Cup win. And then Saturday night into Sunday morning, Australia with a 2-0 victory over Turkey, keeping pace with the U.S. men's team and our group. One of the absolute favorites to probably win this tournament, Germany. I'd say probably top 3 behind. Well, I was going to say France and Spain, but we'll talk about what Spain did in a minute. So Germany left no doubt, though. A 7-1 victory over Curacao. We'll just jump into this game and look at what some of these guys did. Yeah, they just absolutely dominated. You had 2 goals from Kai Harovitz, Felix, I'm probably butchering some of these names, Namicha, Jamal Musalali with a goal as well, Nathaniel Brown, Nico Schlotterbeck. Yeah. Reason that they're one of the favorites to win this. They are typically very good, and they're probably going to go deep in this tournament. 7-goal victory in your group stage will really help. Netherlands and Japan. Japan with a bit of a stunner there. A very late score by forget his first name, something Kamada, helped force the draw. So, which was pretty big for them. The Ivory Coast got a 1-0 victory over Ecuador, and then Sweden just absolutely beat the brakes off of Tunisia 5-1. Action on Monday, and here we go. Let's talking about Spain. Spain should be one of those teams that would be the favorite. I'm probably going to drop them down a little lower and give England the nod over them, although England always seems to choke in these. But yeah, Cape Verde, one of the biggest underdogs or just overall worst teams in this tournament, forced a 0-0 draw. They have a 40-year-old goalkeeper that just absolutely played his ass off. Just a shocker, really, because you would expect Spain to just absolutely run away with this. But I think it has just the last name listed for him, Vozaniha. Yeah, 7 saves in this one. Just played his absolute ass off against one of the top teams in this World Cup. So that's something cool about that, though. I mean, like a very David versus Goliath story there. Belgium and Egypt drew. Saudi Arabia and Uruguay had a draw. Iran and New Zealand 2-2 draw as well. Tuesday's game, France, who from all what I hear from a lot of people, probably going to be the team to win this. They've got arguably the best player in the world right now in Kylian Mbappe. 3-1 victory over Senegal. Norway with a 4-1 victory over Iraq. Argentina with a 3-0 victory over Algeria. Messi, I believe if I'm getting this correct, he had a hat trick in this one. I mean, absolutely unreal. This guy, probably the greatest. I don't know a lot about soccer. Feel free to tell me if I'm wrong, but probably the greatest soccer player we've ever seen. Football player, whatever you want to call it. I mean, 3 goals, a hat trick at 39 years old in the World Cup. Gonna probably break the record for most goals scored out of the World Cup as well. Just like overall playing at the World Cup. Guy's an absolute unit. He's unreal. Crazy to see there. Hat trick at 39. Yeah. Argentina will be one of those teams that'll go pretty deep as well. They've got a solid squad. He's still getting it done. Norway's another team to probably watch out for him as well. And then one last game that kind of went late into the night, Tuesday night, into the Wednesday morning. Austria with a 3-1 victory over Jordan. That's your recap so far. Looking at it, Mexico's leading their group, leading Group A, or they're tied, right? I think they're just barely ahead of South Korea because of goal differential. We've got a 3-way or 4-way tie in Group B. All of those teams drawing, so nobody emerging from the pack yet in Group B. That's Switzerland, Canada, Qatar, and Bosnia. Scotland, Morocco, Brazil, and Haiti. Scotland in the lead right now, currently leading Group C. We'll see how they handle Brazil and Morocco. Brazil, I know Neymar hurt right now, so Group D, the United States and Australia tied for first place in that one. Germany with a big lead over everyone else in Group E. They got the Ivory Coast, Ecuador, and Curacao. They should probably win that pretty easily. Pretty competitive group here in Group F. You got Sweden, Japan, Netherlands, and Tunisia. Sweden with the lone victory in Group F so far. 4-way tie in Group G between New Zealand, Iran, Belgium, and Egypt. Group H, you've got Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, Spain, and Cape Verde, all with a 4-way tie. Every team drawing there. Norway and France. Norway with just a slight edge in terms of goal differential over France. The 2 wins out there in Group 1. That'll be a fantastic match between Norway and France. And Group I, Southern Goal Line Iraq bringing up the rear. Group J, Argentina just a slight edge over Austria in terms of goal differential, but they've got the 2 wins in that one. Group K has yet to play, and same with Group L, where we will soon see England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama play in Group L, and then Group K, Portugal, Dominican or Congo, Dominican Republic, or Democratic Republic of the Congo. Oh my goodness, Uzbekistan and Colombia, all still to play as well. World Cup, people, going on it's going to be going on all month, or for a month here. Well into July 19th, I believe, is when the championship match is. I'll do my best as a bit of a soccer newbie to give you all the coverage and everything that I can. I'll be watching some of it though, mostly because I have to at work. But other sports are winding down, have all winding down. But we got the MLB still heating up, man. I'm just looking at the AL standings here, man. AL is just a lot of stinky garbage. The Central's pretty bad. My hot take, let me know if I'm crazy. The White Sox best team in the AL. Just throwing it out there. Everyone else pretty mid. Tampa's having a good season. I mean, the Yankees are 44-27, but like they just kind of collapse against good teams. That's been a bit of an issue for them there, I believe. So let me know if I'm crazy. Are the White Sox the best team in the AL? All the elite teams are in the NL this year. The Braves, the Brewers, the Dodgers, the three best teams here. The Cardinals are a really good team. Philly's still got a lot of talent there as well. Dodgers did jump ahead of the Braves in the standings in terms of total wins. 47 wins for the Dodgers, 46 for the Braves. We'll see if injuries end up playing a factor or anything. But right now, man, I don't really see anybody in the AL being able to run the table or go 7 with like a Milwaukee, Atlanta, or LA. And I think even like a team like St. Louis, San Diego, even Philly could just really be problematic for him as well. White Sox, it's my hot take. They're the best team in the AL. Let me know if I'm crazy. Gonna real quickly before we hit our final break here. Also, an update on the WNBA standings. The Lynx still in first place. Fantastic game between them the other day, between the Lynx and the Aces there. Olivia Miles, man, everything she's doing as a rookie player is really incredible. She's having a phenomenal rookie season. Love to see what she's doing there. The Liberty 10-4, hot on the trail of the Aces and the Lynx. Dreamer having themselves a nice season. For as much as we all clown on Angel Reese, she does add a nice element of rebounding for this team. Definitely a beast on the boards for him still. I do think she's taking less shots, which is good. And letting, like Alicia Gray, Ryan Howard, Jordan Canada. God, I have so many fantastic guards on this team. Pow has been really good as a rookie. That was really just what they were missing, was more depth in their front court. So you got Reese, Hillman, Medina Okot as a rookie has been really good as well. She's out here, on like 8 minutes a night, averaging a solid, 4 and 3. So give them some quality minutes for him. Yeah. They've been a pretty fun team to watch. Fever is starting to get it together. I think they can be really dangerous if everyone stays healthy. I mean, they went to the semifinals despite Caitlin Clark having the groin issue that was bugged her for a lot of the year. Made her miss a lot of time with injuries. Aaliyah Boston's playing fantastic. Kelsey Mitchell having a really good season. So start hitting about the midway point for the MLB season. We're getting close to that. Almost a third into the WNBA season. So we're looking for those leagues to start to heat up a little bit more. And I'll be giving some more coverage to them as we go through the season. Now that the NHL and NBA playoffs are done, we're talking plenty of World Cup news as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and hit our final music break of the show. When we come back, though, I'm going to give it another go. The 82-0 challenge. Can we draft a starting five to lead us to 82-0? That'll be coming up next on the Final Timeout here on Military Broadcast Radio, powered by Work Simple.
He spent 22 years in the army. We talked Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. And what I learned from him's worth more than anything anyone's bought me. That camo jacket with our last name, still in my closet to this day. There ain't enough money in the world you can give me to throw it away. I hold on to pictures and memories in that shadow box with everything still in it. Whenever he talked, I listened. So fly that flag in your front yard as high as you can, except for when we lose one defending the land of the free. We're in the home of the brave. And pour one out for the ones who never made it home. Say a prayer for their mama as if she was your own. Can't wait to tell my boys about the wars we won. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son. And those cassette tapes he mailed home, I'd rewind them all night long. When I closed my eyes, it felt like he wasn't gone. And Mama did the best she could, raising 3 kids while he stood on the front lines from dawn to dusk in a gun-smoked skyline. Fly that flag in your front yard as high as you can, except for when we lose one defending the land of the free. We're in the home of the brave. And pour one out for the ones who never made it home. Say a prayer for their mama as if she was your own. I can't wait to tell my boys about the wars we won. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son. So I hold on to pictures and memories in that shadow box with everything still in it. Whenever he talked, I listened. And he said to fly that flag in your front yard as high as you can, except for when we lose one defending the land of the free. Boy, you're in the home of the brave. So to this day, I pour one out for the ones who never made it home. Say a prayer for their mama as if she was my own. I can't wait to tell my boys about the wars we won. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Final Timeout. Here on the station that's giving our veterans a voice, military broadcast radio in the Work Simple studios. Got about 20 minutes left in the show today, and we're going to be spending that doing what we can to beat the 82-0 challenge. Got the screen here. Let's just jump into it. I did find I can move players around a little bit too, so that might help us out here. We're going to give our first spin. Very great start. Get Michael Jordan and the 80s. Absolutely phenomenal start there. Then we're going to get the freaking Cleveland Cavaliers, which LeBron's awesome because you can move them to basically any spot on the floor. So this is a really great run. We still have 2 respins here. So I'm going to use because I don't really want anybody from the Grizzlies. San Antonio, we'll take Wemby out of their center spot. That's pretty good there. What are we going to get next? The Lakers in the 70s. I ain't mad at Jerry West. Okay, we might honestly beat this with our first try here. Boston in the 80s. No way. This has to be it. Wow, folks. 82-0 literally on our first spin. That's insane. I mean, that was just an absolutely perfect run. Yeah, wow, I can't believe that we just got phenomenal spins. Jerry West, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Larry Bird, and Victor Wembanyama. Might have to go take a take a picture of that. Well, I did say we were going to do it we were going to do first the classic mode last week. Now, once we beat that, it was going to be the Hoop IQ mode. So here we go. That's what we're going to go ahead and fire up instead. Let me get the screen back up for us. And we're going hoop IQ mode now. So now stats are hidden. We're going to just have to draft based off of memory. First team is going to be Phoenix and the 2010s. All right. First initial thought, I don't know if we want to use a respin here. Amari Stoudemire, probably our best option. Could maybe go with like a young Devin Booker. I just don't think he's going to be averaging quite enough to give us what we need here. I don't think there's anybody else really in the forward department that's going to do it for us either. So Stoudemire is not terrible. So I think we're going to go with Amari Stoudemire first. We'll throw him on our power forward there. Don't want to waste the respin just yet. We're going to get Atlanta in the 70s. This is one where I feel like we might have to take a center. Oh, man. Go Walt Bellamy. I know his averages weren't terrible. Got Pete. I think Pete Maravich is probably more the play here, though. We're going to go Pistol Pete. Boston in the 60s. Well, there's Bill Russell there. Got Bob. I might go Bob Cousy, though. John Honda's probably putting up the best numbers. We're going to go Havlicek here. Man, Charlotte in the 80s. Yeah, I'm going to respin this. That's Phoenix in the 80s. Maybe Dennis Johnson. Kevin Johnson, potentially. What do you think? Do we roll the dice on one of the Johnsons or go for an arrow respin? I'm going to risk it and go for the arrow respin. Hopefully we get. All right, the 2020s. Oh, man, we can't take Kevin Durant, though, can we? Well, can we take Booker as our. Bring this over here. Can we take Devin Booker? Will it let us play him as our point guard? All right, it will. So we'll take Devin Booker. And our center give us a big spin here. San Antonio in the 70s. Man, George Gervin's really all you got from here. Billy Pultz. It is 56 and 26. That ain't good. Let's see where we went wrong. So, yeah, Havlicek, that kind of did us in. Not bad from our front court. I'll hit that from Stoudemire. Yeah, Billy was really hurt. But that was going to be a tough one to get. All right. First spin here. Boston in the 2020s. I'm going to waste the respin. Jason Tatum is a great option here. He's averaging like 26, 6, and 8, I believe. Or 28, 26, 8, 6. Throw him in their power forward for now. We can move him to small forward if we need. Indiana in the 2020s. I mean, Tyrese don't really be scoring like that, though. I'm going to use our respin. Indiana's just not a great team to get for this. Well, we get the Cavs. Where is he? Donovan. I'm probably just going to take Donovan Mitchell. Go with our shooting guard there. Dallas in the 2020s. We'll go Luka. That is that's huge. We'll take that. Atlanta in the 80s. This is going to be Dominique Wilkins. Easy, averaging like 28 in this era. Portland of the 70s. I mean, we could go Bill Walton. I don't really think there's much of a reason to respin it. I don't think we're going to get much better than Bill Walton anyways. Let me see if there's any other centers. I don't know. I think might pass him. I don't know. We're going to go Bill Walton here. Oh, that's good, man. But 73-9. Let's see who ended up holding us back. Yeah, it's probably Bill Walton. I always forget. He wasn't really scoring like that. All right. We're still trying to get this off of our hoop IQ. Got 82-0 in the classic mode. Can we do it on hoop IQ mode? Milwaukee in the 2000s. Don't love this. I'm going to respin the era. There's a lot of better eras for Milwaukee. Ooh, the 60s is brutal too. I mean, we could go Flynn Robinson or McLaughlin. I think those are our best options here. I might respin. I'm going to use both respins here, though. That was not the area you want to get here. Okay. This is Bob Pettit, I believe, right? Yeah, Bob Pettit. Throw him in a power forward because I want to leave a center open for maybe a potential Kareem or somebody. This is going to be Carmelo Anthony. Pretty easy pick there. Atlanta in the 2000s. I actually don't hate Trey Young here. A lot of points, a lot of assists, which are good for this. The Lakers of the 2020s. We will go ahead and take Luka again. Luka averaging like close to a 30-point triple-double. It's like 38 and 9. Yeah, you want those numbers on your team. And Houston of the 2000s. I mean, there's Yao Ming, which we can go get. I'm also thinking, like, where's Tracy? Because if I can play Tracy, I can't play him as a power forward. Okay. Couldn't remember if you could. Yeah, I think we go Yao Ming here. I don't think this is going to be it, but this will be pretty damn close. This is a solid. This is a good roster. 73 and 9 again. Wow. As I'm going along, let me know what if you think I'm making the wrong pick, feel free to chime in. Yeah, man, Bob was Staten. Yao. Being under 20 points per game ain't great for it. Isn't great for our causes. I'm just trying to think, like, center-wise, man. Hakeem's gone, so it's like that was really the best center for the Rockets of that era. We're gonna give it another go. 73 and 9 ain't bad. Spurs. Actually, why am I not just typing this in? Obviously, we know. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, folks. My typing skills abysmal. We're gonna go Tim Duncan. We're gonna put him on our power forward. We love that. The Spurs, the 70s. I'm gonna go with the Iceman. George Gervin was averaging like 27, something like that. He was a bucket. George Gervin was a bucket. All right. I could go Steve Nash here, but like Steve just wasn't scoring like that. That's the problem. You know, I'm gonna throw Maury in at the center spot. Man, maybe I should have used an arrow respin there, but we'll save that for our front court here, which we're not gonna need because we're going to get Luke. I'll put him at shooting guard for this one. And our last one, we're gonna Utah of the 2010s. We could go Mitchell here. I think we'll just go Donovan Mitchell. Maybe I should have. There he is. 68-14. Man. Yeah, she was close to 26. I don't know, man. I feel like that Timmy and Mari Stoudemire might have been what hurt this there. Not bad. I should have, yeah. I didn't know what I was going to get next, but hindsight, I should have gone with, should have respun there. Maybe I should have respun for the Jazz in the 2010s too. Gone for, Mitchell's, that's solid, but you got to kind of go for broke with this 64 and 18. We're getting close here on our Hoop IQ. First spin. Gonna get Philly in the 70s. This is too late for Wilt. Was he still hanging around? He wasn't. So Moses. Man, was this before Moses Malone? Malone. How do you spell it? Man, I could have swore. Yeah, I guess this was a little bit before his time. Huh. Irving, then, I believe. We'll go Dr. J. Can't go wrong with that. I just like Moses and Wilt, man. Those guys were just point rebound machines, which it's really helpful with this. Well, here we go. We get Wilt. We're going to get Wilt now. He was definitely there in the 60s, like 27 and 24 games, something like that. Phoenix of the 2010s. Not the best era for Phoenix. I might risk it and respin the era. Try to get like when Kevin Durant's there. Ooh, instead we get the 80s. Ah, man, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember. See if any names. There he is. Tom Chambers. I'm going to rock with it. I couldn't remember his name, but he was from doing the classic mode. I know he was a pretty good power forward from that era. That way we can save our team respin if we need it. Memphis, like here we go. I'm not taking Memphis, especially when I need front court in the 2000s. Washington, we can go Gilbert Arenas. Other point guard. I like this. I think we got a good shot here. We get a good spin. Boston in the 90s. Oh man, was it Charlie Smith rocking this shooting guard? Or young Chauncey Billups. There's no way he was averaging enough. Might be Dennis. I think it might be Dennis Johnson here. Could go young Paul Pierce. We're gonna go Dennis. So I think Dennis played more minutes. 63-19. Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong Johnson. Probably. Wow, that sincerely screwed me. But good call on Tom at least. Man. Well, I sold there, guys. I really sold there. All right, we're going to start off with the Denver Nuggets of the 90s. Alex English wasn't really scoring like he was. I'm actually going to use the respin era here. 90s is not the greatest for this one. Okay. This was Thompson, David. Is he technically a guard? Okay, he was shooting guard. Okay. He was tall and lanky. I always think of him as a forward. I don't know why. Okay, we're going to just immediately spam the Giannis button. Throw in another power forward. We can move around basically into the position if we need to. Utah, the 2010s. We're going to really think this through because this will probably be our final one. What's this guy's? I think it's Deron Williams. If I remember correctly, he's averaging like 10 assists this era. We're gonna slide him in there. Only like 19 a game, but like averaging 10 assists. Pretty good. All right, we're just gonna respin the team here. Try to get something better. Oh, we don't. Well, Adrian Dantley's solid. All right. Final spin. Hopefully we can get 82-0 before we got to sign off. Houston in the 70s. This was Moses, right? Boom. Moses Malone. Did that do it? Oh, 62-20. I don't even. Oh, that was after Adrian Dantley was scoring a bunch of points. He was really prolific for the Jazz. No, for the Jazz in the 80s. That was probably what did this. And Moses, I should have gone Elvin Hayes. That's on me. I should have gone Elvin Hayes. All right, well, that's going to do it. We're going to keep grinding this Hoop IQ 82-0. Try to get it next week here until the final whistle. I'll have more World Cup, MLB, WNBA updates for you as well. That's going to do it for today's episode. I will see you next week here on Military Broadcast Radio in the Work Simple Studios. Signing off, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.